Hi, welcome to Vegetables, day 50. Wow, such an accomplishment. I actually have made it 50 days in a row. Really, really excited about that. Today's going to be a little bit shorter video because I was not able to watch that much of the Truth About Weight Loss conference or summit today. So as soon as I get this video uploaded, I'll go ahead and finish watching it, and may or may not give you a summary tomorrow of it. Probably will, just so you get a summary of all 9 days. But I'll just run a day behind. So as far as diet and weight today, I weighed myself this morning, and I was 239.9. So barely under 240, but back under 240 in the morning. So really happy about that. And then this evening I just weighed myself on my typical 243.4. Yeah, 243.4. Wanted to make sure I said that correctly. But I wrote it down this time so that I can remember. As far as eating, for breakfast I had peanut butter and banana oatmeal. I did sweeten it with a little bit of honey and put coconut milk on it. And I had a tiny bit left of half and half. So today I did finish that little tiny bit of half and half and put that on the milk, on the oatmeal as well. No use in putting that little itty bitty tiny bit. It was probably no more than a tablespoon. But I didn't have anything else to eat until lunch. At lunch, I ate almost really well. And I'll explain here in a minute. But what I had is the American Blend salad mix with tomatoes, zucchini, and raisins. And then I made a quick honey mustard ranch dressing. The only dressing I have is in the refrigerator is ranch dressing and the orange miso. And I really was wanting something different besides orange miso. And I wanted something a little creamier than just yellow mustard and honey. So I made the yellow mustard and honey and then added, a little bit of ranch dressing to make it a little creamier. So not the best dressing, but better than most of the dressings on the market at the store. So after I ate that, I was getting ready for a doctor's appointment that I had at 2 o'clock. Or 1 o'clock, excuse me. And I was still a little bit hungry, so I was very short on time, but knew I needed to eat something else. So I made myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Haven't had one of those in a very long time, so it was a treat. Went through my doctor's appointment. That took a little over an hour, and started watching part of the summit. And I was trying to write notes down, and I just felt that, I couldn't get the pen to work. I just felt really weak and really just shaky-ish. I wasn't really shaking like this, but just my fingers just felt kind of little tingly and such. So I decided that meant I was probably hungry, and so I had an apple. And then for dinner, we had this. And I did make all of the dishes. It was actually relatively simple, but I did learn something. I don't like cooked zucchini. I really enjoyed it in my salad raw, but nope, can't do the cooked. It's just too slimy. I mean, it was just so slimy. It was like it just melted in my mouth, and no, I ate it, but I didn't care for it. And I suspected that my husband wouldn't like it, so I also made broccoli and cheese. So I had some of that. But the garlic mashed potatoes, I'd never made them that way before. I'd heard of people, or seen recipes where the cooks would put garlic in their mashed potatoes, but I'd never tried it. So this one actually was, you boiled the garlic cloves with the potatoes. So then when you mashed the potatoes, you also mashed in the garlic. And then to get them creamier, instead of butter and milk, they had you add butter and sour cream. And that was really good. We enjoyed those. And then the Parmesan crusted chicken, and that was really good too. But just a little bit of how do I want to say this? Just to give you some idea of how I changed the recipe up a little bit. It wasn't so much the recipe as it was the technique. So, when you're in step 2, it says to combine the Parmesan, half the panko, which you didn't use panko anywhere else in the recipe, so I just put them all in. A large drizzle of olive oil and 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, salt, and pepper. And I've made Parmesan chicken before. It's a little bit different recipe. Well, it's a very different recipe. And I'm like, this doesn't really need the oil. Why would you put oil in with the dry ingredients? It just made absolutely no sense to me. So I left it out. And then it tells you to spread the tops of the chicken with half the sour cream, which they came in these little, I don't know, triangular shaped pouches. And so I used, half because it came with 2. So I used one of those triangular pouches. And instead of spreading it on one side of the chicken, I just spread it on both sides. And then, even though it says no need to coat the undersides, I did it anyway. So I coated I put, in step 1 it says that you season the chicken all over with salt and pepper. I used seasoned salt and pepper. So that's how I changed it as well, because I gave it a little bit more flavor than just salt and pepper. So I didn't skip that step this time. When I made the other chicken recipe, I skipped that step. So yeah, I seasoned that, and then instead of putting the sour cream on one side, I covered both sides with the sour cream, and then I mixed the Parmesan, the panko breadcrumbs, Italian seasoning, and I added a little bit more than what they said because it just didn't seem like enough to me. Salt, and I didn't, and pepper. I don't think I put. Actually, I don't think I put salt and pepper in the breading. Well, because it had the Parmesan cheese, and that's salty enough. I did add more Parmesan cheese than what they gave me. I happen to have some in the refrigerator, so I did add a little bit more cheese than what they gave me. But then it says to mound the panko mixture, pressing firmly to adhere on the one side. And like I said, I just coated both sides, and it turned out perfect. It was really good. We really enjoyed it. But the zucchini, it was just tossed in oil and salt and peppered. And, I'll do raw, but I will not do cooked anymore. It was not good. But that was dinner. And that is all I've had to eat today. So overall, I'm pretty happy. I had a fruit and or vegetable at every meal, which is one thing I am enjoying about the Every Plates, is because each meal has a protein, a starch, and a vegetable. And the meals I have for next week are going to be vegetarian meals. They don't say vegan, so I'm assuming they either have cheese or sour cream in them. I didn't really take time to look. But it's going to be hopefully a nice transition meal that, I'll have the recipe card, and I can, make it. If it's something I like, I can make it anytime I want. So that's my day as far as weight and eating. Overall, I'm pretty pleased. As far as what I've done, I did dishes, and that took a long time, and I still have another load to do. But I put away a load of laundry, I put a load in the dryer, and I put another load in the washer, I think. Yeah, I did. So laundry is almost done, for a few days at least. I just have to do my grandson's. And then the only other thing I did besides prepare food and listen to the Weight Loss Summit in bits and pieces is my doctor's appointment, and I split wood. So, not a very eventful day. But the one thing to keep this health theme going that's not includes content besides weight and food for the day. I wanted to talk about my skin. And don't know, you can see. If you take a look, you can see how dry. Oh yeah, that's a good shot. Let's focus. It's trying to, there we go. Okay, see? You can see just how dry my hands are. And I will put bottles and bottles and bottles of lotion on my skin. And it will no sooner soak it up and it'll be all dry again. So I thought I would share some knowledge that I have regarding that. A quick story is that I've suffered from this for as long as I can remember. And when it really started becoming a big problem, I was working as a caregiver. And so I was washing my hands a lot and wearing gloves. So I just assumed that the reason my hands were so dry was because I had to wash them so often. And at that time the gloves that were available to me were latex gloves with powder in them. This is before the, nitrile gloves came out. So I just figured, that was the issue. And I thought, well, maybe, when I left that job and went to an office job, I figured, it would probably get better. And it did over the summer. But every winter it would come back. So I decided, okay, must just be the weather. But I did end up going to a dermatologist. And the first thing he asked me is if I had switched any soaps. And I'm like, no. I said, no, I'm using the same ones I always have. And he says, I asked that because what you're experiencing is indicative of an allergy. Didn't think anything about it. And he's like, well, we just don't really know what causes it, but here's some cream. I mean, this cream was the pastiest, stickiest, greasiest thing on the planet. And it didn't help. So I just lived with it. We'd get better over the summer. Then in the winter, it would get really worse, really bad. So obviously, I just figured it was a dry air. And yeah, that has something to do with it. But then I switched jobs again. And I began to notice that my hands were getting better. And then, the winter kicked in, and I figured, okay, well, it's time for my hands to get dry. But they didn't get dry. And I thought, that's weird. But again, I didn't think anything about it until I quit that job and went back to the previous job. And oh my gosh, my hands got this way again. And then that little birdie in the back of my head remembered what the dermatologist said about it being an allergy. So what I decided is I found soaps that didn't irritate my skin, that I knew didn't irritate my skin. For the bar soap, I only use Ivory bar soap. They say it's drying to the skin, but for me it's not. All of the other, I don't know, for some reason the ingredients in the other soaps I'm sensitive to. And then I use Dawn dishwashing liquid. And I started carrying in my purse a bottle of the Dawn dishwashing liquid. And I quit using the soap at work because I was like, that's the only thing that I could think of that changed. Was that they, my previous job used a different brand of soap and my hands were fine. So then I'd go back to my previous, to the other job, and my hands were all dried out again. And as soon as I started carrying my own bottle of soap in my purse, it cleared up. So I have done that religiously. If I end up using a public restroom or having to wash my hands somewhere in public, I use my own soap. Some of the doctor's offices don't really care for it, but I'm like, I just say I can't use it, I'm allergic. I also have found that Perel, the hand sanitizer, is really, really harsh on my hands. So I don't use that anymore either. And, it's been probably, I went back to the other job in 2014. And so I've had, about 5-6 winters where I haven't had the problem. They might get a little bit dry, but nothing like this. And then this winter, I noticed that, oh, wait a minute, it's back. So I got to thinking, what happened? Ivory Soap, which is the only brand I use, has not changed the formula. I also had not changed laundry detergent. I have not changed fabric softener. I have not changed dish soap. So I kept thinking, well, what did I do? Well, right about the time that this started happening is when I changed my hair, shampoo and conditioner. I was using one brand, and I noticed that it didn't bother my hands, but it was drying out my hair really bad. So, I went online and looked to see what shampoos and conditioners were recommended for frizzy hair. So I changed shampoos and conditioners. Shampoo and conditioner. And I'm like, aha, that's it. Because what I've also noticed, and then I wash my hair in the shower. So what I've also noticed is that the rest of my skin is getting this dry flakiness to it as well. And again, even though I put bottles and bottles of lotion, it doesn't go away. Even if I wash my hair and then wash my hands afterwards with the ivory, just something about that about the shampoo doesn't rinse off. So that means I'm gonna have to change shampoo and conditioner again. But I'm really sad because my hair is feeling so much better than it's looked in a couple years. Used to get real. I don't know if you look at the videos, the videos that I made, and like in January, you'll notice how frizzy my hair is all the time. And now I'm really happy with the way my hair looks. And what's funny is my scalp doesn't itch. My face isn't dry, and my scalp doesn't itch. But I wanted to share that with you, just in case there's someone else out there that suffers from this and can't figure out why. And they go to the dermatologist and they put cream after cream, and they don't get any relief. And then they put them on medication. They don't get any relief. Look at the products that you use to put on your skin. What you wash with, what you wash your body with, what you wash your clothes with, what you wash your dishes with. It could be the cure. Could be something as simple as changing your soap. And then if you do find a soap that doesn't cause that reaction, get one of those little travel bottles. Like the ones that you can, I think they're about this big, and they're legal for going on an airplane. Buy one of those and fill it up, put it in your purse. Or I guess if you're a man, you can't put it in your purse, but find a way to carry it with you. If you have a wife or girlfriend, have them put it in her purse. Or maybe you start wearing a purse. Of course, I'm kidding. Excuse me, a merce is what it's called. But no, just find out what soaps don't cause the reaction. It kind of reminds me of the analogy I had yesterday, where the man goes into the doctor with a lot of pain in his thumb because he's got vice grips, and the doctors try everything except for removing the vice grips. Well, I guess you could say the soaps are my vice grip, and I just have to remove the vice grip. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the little story, and I hope that, if you are struggling with the same condition, that you'll try my suggestion and it might just work. So please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you know when I upload my video every day. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.